Hello, everyone. So welcome back to my channel. And today's topic is going to be a little bit different. I'm actually going to share something with you as to my why. And why am I doing this? And why am I doing a lot of different things that has to do with healthcare, that has to do with helping people and teaching healthcare knowledge, healthcare information, advocacy, and what to do. So first of all, something that's a little bit unique about me is that I've lived in 3 different countries and I have experienced healthcare system in 3 different ways. So I was born in Yugoslavia, so I did live there, and I also lived in West Germany as a child, and I went to school there, so that was a very different healthcare system, similar a little bit to Canada, but not the same. And some of the philosophies are different in Germany and around healthcare and the type of services that one can utilize, especially nowadays. And it is much more open to complementary, or we consider alternate or complementary therapies, and same thing in other parts of Europe. I also lived in Yugoslavia during the communist era before it fell apart and it changed. And the healthcare system was very different there as well. So I had an opportunity to be cared for, and I even was in hospital in both of those places. So I have experienced also what it's like to be as a child in the hospital in basically 2 different countries. Now in Canada, I was never in the hospital as a child, but as an adult. But I have experienced what it's like to be in North America. And then in North America, I also have visited others, family members in the United States. So I have also had a chance to compare Canada to the United States. So why am I doing this? Where does this come from? Besides me being a nurse, you would think, well, you're a nurse, you want to share your information. I am. I've been nursing for 31 years. I have nursed in many different areas of nursing. So I have done bedside nursing for 20 years, so for over 20 years. And I have done management, and I have done education as a clinical instructor, as faculty, as well as I coordinated programs. So I actually did quite a lot of different things in nursing. But besides that, I had an opportunity to do volunteer work with, for example, brain injury, different brain injury programs, specifically fundraising. And also I had an opportunity to volunteer in shelters. So I've seen different parts of healthcare and societal issues. And not last but not least, also I've been involved with the Registered Nurses Association of Ontario until last year. I was on the board of directors for a year and so, and now I'm in the independently practicing nursing group, but I have done many different capacities in other areas like complementary therapy group, as well as being Region 6's president and communications executive network officer and so on. So I had an opportunity to kind of see what's going on politically, as well as what we stand for and what there is for nurses. But that's not just for nurses, it's also for patients. But again, I'm here for a much different reason. And it's personal, actually. What happened was I've been nursing when this happened, I think 15 years, 15 years. And during my 15 years, by then I have worked in neurointensive care, and also burns and neurotrauma, cardiac surgery. And my father had a traumatic brain injury due to an explosion at work. And he was a patient in my hospital. My friends, my colleagues looked after him. When he ended up getting better, and he ended up going to rehab and then came home. That whole process, I was shocked, actually. I was shocked how much there wasn't there that I thought would be there, since I worked in ICU, and the level of care we gave to patients in intensive care was not there in the community or in rehab. And I was absolutely, utterly shocked. And that prompted me to realize that all the issues that we struggled with, WSIB and getting the proper care and all the proper things in place for my dad and my mom, I was in the system. I knew the lingo, I knew how to talk, who to talk to, how to negotiate, how to get the services that we need, research what services there are. And what I discovered was it was actually quite hard. And things would change because depending on what WSIB was saying or not saying, or how one behaved or not behaved, things would change. And so I was like, wow, what the heck's going on? And then I realized, wow, I'm a nurse. I do this for a living. I know how to talk to these people. I know how the lay of the land. I thought, wow, how does everyone else do this? And the other issue was, of course, we're immigrants. And so I had to translate a lot, although my parents do speak English, but I mean, some of the things they needed quite a bit of help with. So the question is, or was, wow, how many people may need a lot of help with this and a lot of education and pointers where to go, how to navigate. But not only that, I discovered there were not the resources were not really there that one would think would be there. And so this prompted me to, you know what, I need to help people. I need to educate them how to talk, how to navigate, how to approach things. What are some of the things that should be done? And they should ask good questions. How do you ask good questions? And so that was a really big one. I also experienced cancer with family and friends. And that also was interesting how, as much as we have a really good healthcare system here in Canada, what I've witnessed in the United States was that depending on where you live, and if you have good insurance, you get exemplary care. I am talking top-notch, amazing care. And I was just floored. And then I witnessed a friend go through it, and her treatment was very different in Canada. And I can say that because I saw it, I heard it, I experienced it. They both received good care. I'm not saying they didn't survive, and they're doing very well. It was just the procedure, the time, the appointments, how things were organized. It just seemed that some places are more organized than others. And so I witnessed it, and I thought, okay, we need to educate people about, doesn't matter where you live. The procedures are similar. The tests are the same. The plastic surgeons or the general surgeon or any kind of physician that would be involved in all of those things that I've mentioned, you can ask those questions and you still need their services. And I've also witnessed some of my friends either almost having lupus, and in one case actually getting full out, didn't know what it was and ended up being lupus, and watching that person go through the struggles of getting the diagnosis, figuring out what it is, almost dying. And so that was quite an interesting journey as well. So these things prompted me to say, okay, how can I help? How can I make a difference? So I started fundraising, helping with fundraising and getting involved in the communities so that I understood the lay of the land a little bit better. And I made a lot of friends. And actually on Facebook, I still have friends who were part of that journey. One of my co-chairs is still one of my best friends. And on top of that, I still keep in touch not only with the people that organized it, but even some of the people had that brain injuries. And I think it's a really amazing community, but they still need a lot of help. So I realize now that not only to work and help people day to day, but on top of that, having these information sessions for everyone so that you can access information easily and effectively and fast if you can search me and find me. And so I do ask people if they really would like to have information on specific things, please tell me. You can put it in the comments or I will leave an email, and please email me because I really do genuinely want to give information that people want. The other thing is I realize that people need help, and especially for people who are not first generation or immigrants or refugees, doesn't matter. If you don't know how to navigate and you don't know the system and you are struggling with language, that's even tougher. And for example, even medications, they have a different name. Actually, just recently, a family priest who came from Europe had issues, and they're still also a Canadian citizen, and they needed some help. So I just arranged doctor's appointments and whatever needs to get done. And so I'm appreciating the fact that there are challenges every time someone comes to this country. But in any country, how do you know how to get proper services? How do you know what you need to do in an emergency? So I did do a bit about emergencies, and I will expand on them in shorter videos so that we'll get a little bit more detail on specifics. But I really encourage people to please share, like, and subscribe, because I will be sharing more. And I'm passionate about this. I want to really help, and I want people to understand that when you're in a crunch and you don't know what to do, you can call me actually, and I will be happy to help. I know there's other companies that can help, but I genuinely will help. And those of you who know me, you call me, I will respond immediately. And this is why I'm doing this. And all the things that I've done, whether it's been in martial arts, whether it's been neurolinguistic programming, in Reiki, complementary therapies, all of those things came from the genuine desire to help. And how can I be a better person to assist you? And that's it. So this is what I wanted to share tonight, so that you understand a little bit more about my experience in life, that I have experienced and witnessed and walked with people who have had tragedies and some really scary things happen with diagnoses and working within the system. And that I have experiences in more than one country. So I understand the challenges that can happen when you're traveling. And what are some of the things you can do? So we'll be discussing all those things. So that's it for now. Have a beautiful evening, and I'll see you guys next time, when I will be talking about, I think I'm going to start talking about some of those regulated health professions that I mentioned. Physiotherapy, occupational therapy, and kinesiology is on the list for tomorrow. So see you then, and have a beautiful evening.